Have you heard about Anchor? Well, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. And there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make your money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
This music, it became a part of me.
Because of that, nobody
GoSaint.
Come on.
Where do I start? Should I start from the beginning? Chasing all these pretty women. They used to call me a dog. They didn't care about a nigga feelings. When my car was a hoopty, when my car was my 2 feet, only paper on me was loose leaf. Where do I start?
Bonjour, bonjour.
Bonjour, frère.
Ça passe.
Qui je nous la jodi?
Nous bon. Nous là. Ça qu'a fait.
Quick.
Crack.
Y'all know I've been to Africa.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think I'm light-skinned?
I mean, you're lighter than the average African American male and female.
Mr. Deville, so pensez.
You're lighter than me.
Okay, so that's a yes from both of y'all answers. My whole life, I never considered myself light-skinned. It wasn't until I went to Africa. There was like this guy, we were having a conversation by a store one time, and this guy who's in the community, he was talking to one of my friends, and they were having a heated like discussion. And then he turned to me and he was like, "You're Red. Don't you think so? Don't you believe that?" So he turned around. And so when he turned around, he called me Red. I turned around behind me. I was like, "Who are you talking to?" I turned around again. I'm like, "Yeah, nobody else is behind me." He's like, "Yeah, Red. I'm talking to you." He was like, "You calling me Red?" That was the first time in my life like somebody called me Red, and I was baffled. I was shocked and appalled. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, this guy does not just call me Red.
No.
So I'm thinking to myself, like, am I light skinned? Now I know compared to Africans, most of them are dark. So I'm like, yeah, I know I'm lighter than most of these Africans that I'm seeing here, but I never consider myself light skinned.
I mean, if you look at it, in our community, there's always been a light skin, dark skin type of movement that's always been there. I mean, if you look at a lot of mixed Haitians, for instance, you have our cousin who's really, really light-skinned Haitian, or they used to call him when he was younger, blanc. You half of the family who was a little lighter, and the other half who was just in between, and so on and so forth. I think it's just like that in a lot of Haitian families, and even in the African American community,
But I felt like the way he was calling me Red, I felt like it was a little bit of like an insult.
I mean, everybody has their own terminology for different type of shades of skin in every culture, I guess,
So when he says red, you mean he's calling you red as if he's equating you to a white man? Or
That's a good question.
Or is
Nah.
that like the mulatto
Or
word?
I think he's calling you red in the sense that with your complexion, you can see the red that comes out your face more easier if you feel in some type of way.
That's where the name comes from, yeah. Even down south, they call fair-skinned people red. Or that's another word that they use, fair-skinned.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I never heard until I went to Africa either. So they say you fair-skinned, or they call you red. So in down south, in America, they say you red bone.
Yeah, exactly. When they call the women red bones down there.
Yeah,
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, now you're gonna be messed up. I thought red bone was for Indian girls, so I'm like, what?
But I think it's like a down south thing, though. To be honest with you.
Okay.
But so you see how in the Western world, when they're talking about light skin and dark skin, which is the complexion that is favored in our community?
I think in our community, in this present day and age, I don't think any color skin is discriminated against. But I think if you want to talk about back in the day, they used to look at the fair skin, or in your sense, red bones, reds. They used to look at them as the people, the upper echelon, like people who have money in the community, in a sense, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? Those are the people who aren't outside working in the sun as much. I'm dead serious. I knew that even in the slave days, they used to have the light skins and the darker skin guys. The darker skin ones were the harder working ones who were out there, and then the light skin ones were like the house people who work inside the house all the time. What are your thoughts?
My example on that, I work in so many different areas, but it gets to the point where if I don't look the part, they won't even recognize me. You see how crazy that sounds?
Yeah.
Like I can, even right now wearing a mask and everything like that is a whole nother feeling if I'm not walking in or talking to people and talking to keep them calm in a sense, you know what I'm saying? They're completely feeling some type of way because here is this big, dark black man wearing a hoodie. His face is covered up. He looks like he's about to just do whatever he wants in whatever mindset they may be in. So, like, unless I'm coming in there saying hi and waving to everybody because, it's my neighborhood. Of course, everybody know me and recognize me. There, you feel that tension, and it's sad.
Yeah.
So on my end, when I went to Africa, I seen that the same similarities where some people were, favoring the lighter skin. But the dynamic that I also was new to me was it was kind of reversed in some ways, where especially with the people that I was around, where because I was a lighter complexion, I was the one who felt left out. They were looking at me like I was different. They were looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" Like your skin is the skin that's not the skin that's in. So then I started to feel a way about myself. Like I lost confidence in many ways. Like I started to question myself: am I really African, or am I 100% African? Well, before in America, whether you were light skin or dark skin, you were considered black. They never looked at you like you weren't African American.
Yeah.
But when I got to Africa, it was like a whole different dynamic, where I felt like I kept trying to fight for my Africanness and trying to show how black I am.
Well, they probably feel like your bloodline is more diluted and unpure. That's what people feel like when you see like a light skinned person. It's
Right.
like along the lines somebody mixed. But when you have the guys who are darker, it's like, all right, we're 100%. It's like pure. You know what I mean? When you have pure blood and then mix,
Right.
That's how they probably see it there.
It's still a solid level of either you trust me face to face or you don't.
Exactly.
Like I should be able to just approach compared to having that back stigmatism. So it's like, where is that ingrained? Where is that coming from? Did you learn that growing up? Is that what your parents taught you, or any experiences that you had to go through to make you feel like this situation make me feel uncomfortable?
What did your parents teach you? Did you grow up favoring light-skinned women over dark-skinned women? Or did you feel like your parents wanted you to have a certain type of female?
Listen, man.
Or your experiences?
Let me tell you one thing about race, culture, and all types of things. Growing up in my house and dating other women, my dad had us 4 boys, so I had four brothers, and always taught to never look at skin tone, race, or anything. It's all about feeling. It's all about how you feel, and it's all about the vibes you get off a person. Getting to know a person, never getting to know a person off of color, race, or anything like that. But also, I would say one thing is product of your environment does play a key role into how you do date and the person you end up meeting. If you live in an area, like I live in an area, predominantly there's more white females, or I had a lot of white friends growing up, and I just dated a lot of white women growing up. I had a Spanish girlfriend too. I did other races, Asian and such, but that was what I was surrounded by. But the way I grew up was never to look at anything but accept people for who they are and how they accept you. when people accept you for who you are, that's just date off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I completely agree with you all day on that point. But there's one thing I have to say.
Yeah.
In regards to like trying out different races, in my experience, it was literally like a take notes. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this did not work out. This is not a smart move. You know what I mean? Like, if I got kids, I gotta warn my children. These things happen. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people talk shit, but it doesn't feel. It's not a bad thing to humble yourself and be like, listen, am I crazy or are you crazy? Like, can we figure some shit out? Because, you know, in all honesty, the way we grew up, you know, watching our fathers and our mothers dealing with a relationship, it's not the way we deal with it now. I'm happy to say I try to do a little bit better.
Exactly. I see what you mean.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so I agree with you, but I definitely want to say, like, she got to make me happy. I got to make her happy, and we got to want to grow.
I don't know if I'm missing something, but like, I know my mom was on some next when I was young. Shit up and down. She used to tell me, yo, bring a woman up in here with some nice hair. Like, she said everything but white. Yeah, make sure that she's a nice girl. Like, she used to tell me that all the time with nice hair. that nice hair stuff in good family. She used to always say that. So she said it so much to me, like, I kind of knew what she meant, you know. So I was like, I wanted the total opposite.
Exactly.
like sometimes she used to see like Ashley on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She used to be like, yeah, hair like that, but not that dark. Like that.
But let me ask one thing on this topic. Say if your girlfriend is white, black, Spanish, Asian, Indian, at home, that's what you have. That's what your kids are mixed with. But when you leave that house as a black man and you walk outside into that world, does it matter what race your wife is? Or honestly, does it matter? Or are people going to treat you the same way because of your skin tone and how you are yourself as a black man walking into the world doing what you do?
Honestly, that's exactly what I mean when I have to smile in your face. Like, I have to be right there face to face because it's really not the same. It really isn't the same. If they don't think you're the same guy that was there last week, they're gonna be talking shit. If they think you know, what you call it, if she's not happy for some situation and you're just walking down the street like everything's fine, they think some shit. Like, you never know someone else's opinion on it unless you, like, literally they're all up in your shit, which nobody likes that.
Yeah.
But if you just sit back and you smile and everybody's happy, nobody mind, you know, nobody's in your business, and you are taking care of your shit at home, then it's gonna show out. Nobody's gonna know nothing's wrong, you know, going on in your crib. Everybody's gonna say, all right, cool, they happy. It's none of my business.
So yeah, I think it does matter in some ways, and then sometimes it doesn't. Kind of like what you mentioned about your environment sometimes. So it's a lot of different variants that can change it. One thing that I always think about is like white privilege, right? And how white people benefit from their skin complexion, whether they know it or not. If I was as dark as Morris Chestnut, would my life be different? And sometimes the privileges that we have, we don't even realize that we got that privilege maybe because of how we look, whether it's because we're dark or maybe it's because we're lighter. Like sometimes I mentioned Eminem, where he said in his raps years ago, you know, if I was black, I would have sold half. Basically, he knows that if he was the same Eminem, rapping the same way as he was rapping, but he was black, he would have sold half because of white privilege. So people get things because of their complexion. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't even realize. So some of the jobs that we might have gotten, maybe if we were darker, we wouldn't have gotten that job.
I see.
But on a side note to that, and to add, that's another reason why I try my best to exude all my positive energy, because above all, by the time I'm done a conversation with somebody, they be like, yo, I like you, yo. I don't know what it is, but we're going to talk. We're gonna work together. And again, like I said, I work a lot of different places for a lot of good people. And it's because regardless of how they may feel initially, by the end of the conversation, it's all good energy. Exactly. And hopefully that continues throughout everybody. You know, everybody starts understanding, you know, pumping that good energy out will get it coming back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So did y'all hear what's going on in Haiti right now?
I did. And it's sad when a lot of the people in the community think that the Haitian government is hiring these thugs to run the streets. Meanwhile, the president and his people are hiding in the palace or whatever place that they stay in. And then in the streets is chaos because, you know, everybody wants that president out because they feel he's not doing a great job. You know, people are getting kidnapped left and right. Now, a lot of people aren't even going to school, and it's just a lot of terror. And basically, these gangs are just running the streets of Haiti, and poverty is rising.
Also, keep in mind they still gotta deal with shutting down, same as us.
Exactly.
Right. So basically, the people are outside fighting because they say that the president is trying to stay a year longer than he actually has on his term.
He felt like they stripped him of a year, and so he wanted to do the till 2022 to, you know, make up for that year that he got stripped of and didn't get to do his thing. But the people are right. You can't deny the people. The people on the streets, the people are going through these things. And I don't think any other government should chime in at the same time to tell them what's right and what's wrong.
Because, you know, there was a time where the U.S. occupied Haiti. So now this is a very crucial time. If Haiti doesn't get their act right, another country might come in and occupy and say, all right, we'll try to help, but they're really taking over the place. So they're calling for the United States Department to bring some type of peace there. And President Biden basically says that he agreed with President Moise that he deserves to get one more year. And they're like, nah, U.S., get the hell out of here.
I think they said that. I think Biden's saying that in the sense of, if you guys don't like this guy and you guys oppose this guy and you want to get rid of him, when you get rid of him, who's going to be the next guy up? But there is no next guy up. You guys just want to get this guy out. But once you get this guy out, there's going to be even worse of chaos. Nobody's going to be running everything, and then things are just going to go down twice as fast. I think that's what Biden's saying, in the sense that let him just stay for a little bit longer until you guys get the act right.
Right. So, but what the protesters are saying is that if Moise leaves, then the head of the Supreme Court is supposed to serve as a transitional president until the elections are held. And then, you know what happened after that? Then they said that Moise forced the retirement of 3 Supreme Court judges who are next in line of succession.
And that's
so the people who were supposed to be he made them go
that's
out.
Strategy.
But
Trump did.
But then he goes back and says, no, that's
Trump
not
did
true.
Something similar.
They were just up. Right.
Trump did something similar. He got rid of a lot of people that he felt could have opposed him in many different ways.
Right.
And so it's basically you cutting a lot of snakes off that Medusa head to, you know, less of the evils, but the bigger evil is still present.
I mean, you combing hair, aren't you?
Exactly. So I think nobody knows what's going on better than the people who are fighting for what is wrong. When you see a multiple and people fighting for what is wrong in that sense, you kind of got to go with what the people are saying, because they wouldn't be fighting in the streets if it wasn't the case.
Yeah, and you know what make it even worse though? Biden set an order since when he came in, like there was supposed to be no deportations. But then basically the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, they deported at least 72 people to Haiti, including a 2-month-old baby and 21 other children.
That's crazy.
You're sending them over there in a country where the country is unsettled and they don't even have no place to live. So what do you think is going to happen to them when they go to Haiti?
Misery.
But then Biden is like, he stopped the ordering of deporting. So maybe the Immigration Customs Enforcement is moving without the say of Biden, or, you know, they're going rogue, basically.
Yeah. I was gonna ask real quick, do you have any type of timeline of those 72 that got sent out?
What do you mean timeline? They got sent already.
I'm saying, like, when?
Last week.
From what I understand, from the time he was in to now, no one is supposed to be leaving the States for at least another 90 days or so. A minimum of 100 days. So no deportation is supposed to be hitting.
Right, but that's what I mean. ICE was kind of going rogue because Biden set that order for 100-day that no deportations, but they did it anyway.
Because in some cases, in some situations, they can't even get good representation with the lawyers and stuff because supposedly they don't have translators. Supposedly, you know, they don't speak the language properly, so they can't get them the proper representation in time for them to be able to, stay or to be able to get sent out or not. Heard of cases where, you know, just the description of, you know, how Haitians explain school. When you say premier, which would be elementary school, when you're saying that on paperwork, they're only counting it as 1, 2, 3. So they're like, oh, he only had third grade education level, and this is all he knows to this point. How are you not gonna try to properly represent that if you're not asking the proper ways?
Yeah, so right now, Haiti, what we need, man, we need some prayer, guys, right
Yeah,
now.
definitely. Praise up. Praise up.
But our parents used to be praying to them saints. Right now, Haiti needs to go pray to every saint that they can think of. So yeah, y'all parents used to pray to saints.
Yeah, man, all the time. It's a religious thing. It's part of the Catholic movement. As a Haitian,
I was gonna say, mommy done blessed me with like 3 or 4 saint photos to put inside my helmets when I'm riding my moped. The kids got them in their roller skates.
Yeah, didn't she used to have that picture up in the car whenever we driving? You got the car to
We
leave.
each got one.
Yeah, that's part of that light skin, dark skin. That's why they love that light skin so much, because they probably feel like they're more godly because all their saints are white.
We definitely done explain to mommy that everybody was black back in the day. Mommy can't take that lie to the face.
That thing go one ear and out the other.
Shoot, but nonetheless, we still got plenty of family named after saints.
I mean, we got a new artist that's running the streets in Brooklyn, man. We got some hop hopping songs out right now. GoSaint tearing things up, man. Let me introduce y'all to GoSaint real quick.
Yeah, call him up.
Come on.
Where you at, Saint?
GoSaint.
Where you at, Saint?
What's going
up,
on,
kid?
family? What's going on,
What's
man?
going on?
GoSaint. Yeah, I was listening to that album.
First time I ever started rapping, my first rap name was Senor Guapo. That was my first rap name. And then I was like, you know what? That's not serious. So I said, I'm gonna make it Saint because my mom named me after St. Jude. So I was like, I'm just gonna make it Saint because I didn't want to do St. Jude, St. John. That I don't want to be too similar. So I was like, I'm gonna just make it Saint. When now I'm doing the songs, I'm doing the ad-libs on the song. I'm like, go Saint. You feel me? So then I realized, I'm like, it kind of sounds, sound a little catchy. My boy saying it's catchy. What really stuck out to me about that name, for some reason, it felt like it sounded like a superhero. Like, oh look, let's go Saint. He's here. Like that's
There
like
we go.
that's just the effect it have on me. And for some reason, it stuck. I feel like nobody's giving me a complaint about it yet, and it's unique.
So do you bring that superhero energy when you pop in and you talking to people, you trying to bring that out? You bring that super
feel like
energy
I do.
or what?
I feel like I definitely exude a lot of superhero energy, but it's also a lot of negative energy in the world. So I try to stay away from that too. I can't. Sometimes I just can't give out my energy in places where I feel like it's gonna be wasted. You know what I mean? Honestly, bro, I just want to make a positive impact on the world, bro. Like, I just want to make sure I left a positive mark on the world, bro. Like, if I just want to keep it as like genuine as possible, and I have a passion for music, though, I'm gonna just try to use that as an outlet.
So, yo, Saint, question, man. You're from New York. The greatest of the greatest that ever touched the mic is from New York. How's it like growing up in Brooklyn and building up a rap career?
Man, Brooklyn, home of the spitters, damn, home to a lot of legends. I know I got big shoes to live up to. Biggie, Jay-Z, Rakim, Big L, even the newer artists, Pop, RP, A Boogie. It was just a lot of talent come out of Brooklyn. If it's New York in general, yeah, I feel like I respect Brooklyn for that though. It make you have to become a better artist because it's so much competition, bro.
Gotcha, yeah. So the album, Book of Saint, what inspired the name,
Book of
Saint?
Book of Saint. That means a lot to me, bro. That's the book of basically my life, summarized in 10 tracks up until that point, November 18th when I dropped it. It means a lot because it was songs that I just made like probably like a couple weeks before the release date. Like I just said, oh nah, you know what, this song crazy, I gotta put it on. And there were songs I made 3 years before that I've never released. A couple people heard it, and I'm just like, you know what, I gotta wait for the right time to drop. And I felt like it all connected. I made sure every song at the end of it meshed with the next song, so it's like a continuous. It's literally like a book. That's what I try to make it like 10 chapters, 10 songs.
That's
Thank
fire,
you,
bro. Next question to you is, if you were to perform a song off your album in front of Jay-Z, New York's greatest, what song would you choose to play?
In front of Jigga.
That's a good question.
Oh,
You trying to
in
be
front
Rock
of
Nation right
Jigga.
now. What song you gonna choose, man?
Chasing all these pretty women. Nah, damn. This is hard. I might have to
Man, this
get
is
critical.
critical. This is
Oh, I forgot
critical.
about those songs too. Oh man. I might have to go with I'm in love with the diamonds, the fashion, the vanity. Chasing that paper, I'm losing my sanity. I took a risk and became who I planned to be. You used to ig me, but now you a fan of me. Came to the flossy, I go to sleep. I might
Hey,
have to do that one. I might have to do vanity. I don't know how to all my children, I don't want to say I have a favorite, but it just felt a little different.
Yeah, I think Jigga will rock that
Oh
vanity.
man, mind
Jigga,
you,
that's that Jigga type of music
I
right
would have
there.
just spit a freestyle off one of his beats. I'd have said, forget all that.
I
I'd have
feel
said,
you,
somebody
man.
put on Dead Presidents right now.
So, Saint, who inspired you, man? Rap wise, who inspired you to get into the biz, to do your thing and be an
So
artist?
many artists, bro. So many. First, I'll start with Kanye West because Kanye music inspired me a lot because I was always a fan of the fact that Kanye never stayed the same. His sound never stayed stagnant. I was always a fan of Kanye for that. Kendrick Lamar, Animal, Drake, Travis, Future, 50 Cent. Honestly, the list could go on, bro. All these guys, I feel like I've taken a little bit of everybody because I listen to these dudes' music and I've indulged in their music so much. You get what I'm saying? Because I had a love for their
Yeah.
music. You know what I mean? So
All right, so let me
yeah.
Pete. Let me ask this: who you feel more, the old Kanye or the new
Oh
Kanye?
man,
That's a tough one because old and new Kanye getting money and is making some
Kanye
music.
lit.
So,
Kanye
how
lit,
do you
man.
feel about that one right there?
Yeah, I mean his heart's in the
Hey,
right place. That's what I think.
true.
Musically, would you say my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is old or new Kanye?
That's kind of old
Because
Kanye.
I think that
I
was like
think
what
Uh,
20,
that's
20
old
I don't
what
know.
Kanye.
2010?
That's a little bit of a new Kanye to me. That's when he started to
Veer
kind
off,
of
but I
Yeah,
touch
it's
think
that.
808
2010.
and Heartbreaks too
He was
was,
veering off.
That's my favorite Kanye
Hold on.
album.
Let me jump in
Yeah.
on this.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's one of my favorite albums all
Think.
time
I love
ever.
that as
Okay.
well. I think
That's
that
when
is.
his
So.
sound was at,
breaking
I feel
point.
like, his peak. Honestly, bro. Like, that was his greatest album, greatest work, top to bottom.
So, what made you come into the music biz? What was the
Yeah,
inspiration of becoming
all
a
those
rapper?
guys, man. Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, all these artists, I felt like they gave me inspiration because you see them do it and you say, okay, maybe it is possible. Because, it always starts as a dream. I've always been into music from as a little kid, 10 years old, rapping. 50 Cent song in the club. Real talk. You can find me in the club, bottle full of
Yeah.
bug. I got you. I didn't even know what he meant
I
by
mean,
bottle full of bug. I had no idea.
yeah.
How about that Enrique
Oh
Iglesias?
man, that
Remember that
song was a
Baila
banger.
Mucho?
Yo, I was into all that music,
Yo,
bro. I
Saint.
just love music, man.
Yo, Saint, you compare yourself to like the 50s and you inspired by the Kanyes and the Kendricks. Last question for you. The ultimate question that every rapper gets asked. Top 5 rappers all time. And don't even say Dylon, and Dylon.
Damn. Damn. I'm
The
gonna say
hardest
my
question, every
favorite.
rapper has a tough
I
time with this
mean,
one.
damn. I can't say. Should I say my favorite or
Yeah,
who
go
I
ahead.
think is like overall top five? Because Jay-Z's definitely gotta be in the conversation. For me, Kendrick Lamar gotta be there.
Yep.
Biggie's gotta be there.
Yep.
I
I'm-
gotta put Biggie in
Okay.
somewhere. I gotta do
Three.
order,
Is that in order? Is that in
no
order?
order right now. No order in the court. No order in the court. I can't do that right now. Not yet. Let me just brainstorm a little more. I gotta put Nas
We got one
somewhere.
more. That's that number
Who's the number?
5.
Who's your
Everybody got
that
trouble with
number
that number
5 is
It
key.
5.
could go to so many people, man. It could go to Drake. It could go to 50. It could go to Kanye. It could go to me. Like, I can't. I don't know, man. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know. It could go to so many people, bro.
No doubt.
It could go to GoSaint, believe.
Just go for a
Definitely
lot of
one day,
things.
man. Hopefully, but feel me. Hopefully, I get that number one. That'd be
Yeah.
crazy. That'd be
Yeah, you
crazy.
gotta just keep putting out that music, man. You see, keep putting out that music, put out that work. Don't
I
worry
got
about what
to
people
though.
think about it.
But
Just put out
I
music,
got to
man.
though.
And
That's my profession.
yes, I seen you got a little vulnerable on one of them songs. On a few of them songs, yeah, I
Yeah,
like that. You know,
I
you kind
appreciate
of
that, bro.
you have great
For real, it took a
range.
lot on it. I got a song called "Lonely" on that album, Book of Saint. The last song I got on it. That took a lot to even put on this on the album because I'm like, damn, that's a state of mind that I don't reveal to anybody. You know, personally, like I would just like that's
Yeah.
moods that people like me and you would go through that we're just locked off from the world. We just don't want nobody to bother you. I'm not feeling good. That's how I am.
Yeah.
My misery don't like company.
Mr.
Artist.
Saint, I got a challenge for you. The
Saint.
challenge is to get yourself into a cipher and put yourself in a group setting to see where you're at with, a couple of your stars.
I mean, I feel like I'm down to work if I found a vibe with an artist and I feel like this person made great music or I like their voice, I'm down to work. You know what I mean?
For the listeners, man, who are about to tune in,
Uh,
tell them about your album, where they can find it, what platforms they can find your album, your music on. Get on that GoSaint train.
They could
Ride that wave.
definitely find me on Instagram at GoSaint, GoSaint_. GoSaint. They can find me on Apple Music, Spotify. Book of Saint is my debut album. Dropped it on November 18, my birthday. Scorpio Gang. You feel me? So you can find me on any platform, YouTube, everywhere. I'm everywhere. GoSaint. Come on.
Did you catch the Super Bowl?
That was a big chip for Tom. Big chip for that organization. Congrats to Patty Mahomes too, man, for even getting there. I'm proud of him for not giving up, man. For real.
Nah, boo. Nah, if anybody know me, then you know I'm not a Tom Brady fan at all. I was not happy
And mind you, I mean,
watching that
he
blowout.
played great too. So even though
Oh
his
my
defense locked
goodness.
him down, he played great. So it's like, damn.
I mean, if you look at Patrick Mahomes threw for
Nah,
less than 50%, and
bro, Pat
Tom
had
Brady
no
threw for like
time. He had
80%.
no time. He
You
didn't
know what I'm
have time to
saying?
think out
So,
there.
Dang.
two different levels of efficiency right there. So it's just like, yeah, the Tampa Bay Bucks played well. They was in their home field advantage and et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like the Chiefs could have done a little bit better to make the game more competitive.
Man, you think
Don't
Tom
do
Brady had their
that.
playbook
Yo,
Don't
again?
do
stop.
that.
That's ridiculous.
But to
That's
be
ridiculous.
honest, now let me see
That's
if you guys remember
Okay,
this
that
now.
was the last joke. That was
This Super Bowl, right? You remember that? You see how what happened to Patty Mahomes? He was getting rushed. Over 50% of his plays, he got rushed, right? That's what they was. You saw it. We saw it with our own eyes. He was getting
yeah.
rushed play after play, right? This Super Bowl don't
right.
remind you when Tom and the perfect season went up against the Giants? People feel like they don't remember this.
And
Tom was
I would say
getting rushed
this.
every single play almost against those Giants. I'm telling you, they could have beat
I
them,
would say this.
but
Now,
the defensive line of that Giants team was the reason they won that game. Even though Eli made big throws, big
Yeah,
catch,
for sure.
that D line that year, I'm telling y'all, if y'all watch it back, was the reason.
Yeah,
but
it
let
was
me let
sick.
me let me hit you with this
Strahan was
one.
still there.
JPP was
Jimmy
on there too.
Yora, I
Let
think.
me hit you with this one. Let me hit you with this one. I can't compare that Giants Super Bowl to this one with the rush in the sense that the Atlanta Falcons was doing the same thing in that first half of the Super Bowl. They were doing the same thing to Tom. He figured it out. The only reason they even lost that perfect season was that stupid catch by
True.
David Tyree on his helmet. Tom always
Now, if it
figures it
wasn't for
out.
the
They would
catch,
have won that game if
they
he
would
hadn't
have.
made that
I was
catch.
definitely a Patriots fan, bro.
Bro, I
It
was
was the
sad too. I'm
perfect
a huge
season on
Brady
the
guy.
line, bro. Oh my
I didn't
God,
watch
bro.
ESPN. I didn't watch ESPN to the following season. But yo, Drew, if you look at it like this too, says a little something like, about the playbook. But yo, Tom Brady, Super Bowl win or loss, has never won or lost a Super Bowl by more than 4 points. Let's talk about that. If you had a playbook, it would never be that close, right? But this Super Bowl, he let it off 31-9. And he really solidified and showed people what he's made of. once again.
Nah, that was the last time.
Nah, yeah. Honestly, after this, you definitely
for
can't.
real. Like after that
You
Super Bowl,
can't, because he literally swapped
I'm
teams
done. Like I'm done.
and won the chip the exact next season. Regardless of weapons, regardless of not, he still had to make the throws. You
Yeah,
still had to
that's
gel with the team in one
crazy.
season. That's ridiculous, bro.
I'll end the Brady conversation on this right here.
I
Tom
agree
Brady
with
has been
that.
throwing it to. Tom Brady has been throwing it to. He's been
Randy
throwing
Moss
it
was his only
to
guy.
supermarket clerks.
Deion
Supermarket
Branch.
clerks.
Deion
Rob
Branch.
Gronkowski is a monster.
Was not.
By the way,
He's been throwing
Wes
it to
Welker was good.
Wes
Wes
Welker?
Welker was
Yeah.
a practice player from the
He's
Dolphins. He
Yeah.
was doubted.
And
He came up and he
Aaron
rose
Hernandez,
above.
regardless of whatever, he was a mean target.
Aaron Hernandez was his biggest. I think the Patriots' biggest recruit coming
He
out of
was
Florida.
an
But
amazing
he also
athlete.
He
dog.
also
You
had a
can't
lot of
even lie.
issues. When you talk about athlete, you're talking about the body
Yeah.
of the work and how the body put in the work. Tom Brady is a quarterback. He did great things, 7
At all.
championships. You can't take that away. I love Tom Brady. That's my favorite sports figure. But when you talk about athlete, I want to say the greatest athlete is Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
because you
Physical.
I can't. I
When I
agree.
say that, I also
Mhm.
say that from a physical standpoint. Dunking, all the crazy moves, the shots, physical. Tom Brady sits back in the pocket, he makes some throws, he did his thing. But when you talk about athlete, I think about it in the physical sense. When I
Yeah,
say
it's hard
Michael
for me
Jordan.
to, because when you know what, how I try to distinguish it, I try to say, if you're gonna say greatest athlete, then we're gonna have to put accomplishments into play. But if we say the best athlete, it just doesn't
For
sound
sure.
as good as greatest, which is the problem. But best athlete is now we putting in skill and physicality. So that's what I think. That's what I think. If we're gonna say best, that's when we could put the other one in. And Tom Brady, I love Tom Brady, my favorite quarterback ever. Can't be in that conversation. I can't feel. I don't feel comfortable, bro, saying he's a better athlete than Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Are you serious?
Yeah, I say
Simone
Michael Jordan's
Biles,
probably the
like, are you
greatest
like,
athlete
she's an
physically,
animal, bro, in the Olympics,
you
bro.
know.
Simone Biles is just ridiculous, bro.
Simone Biles, like she got
Yeah,
more championships than
she's
all the,
setting
how much gold
she's
medals
setting
that she got.
standards right now. Like she's
She's the
literally
most
setting the bar.
decorated.
Since we're on the topic of talking about athletes like Michael Jordan and such, what do you guys feel about top 5 MVP players that's balling right now in the NBA? Who do you guys got as the top 5? Your top 5 guys.
Well, Steve, you already know who I got.
Here we go.
You already know who I got.
Here we go, Mr. Philly.
I got the process.
Oh
Mr.
God,
Philly.
Trust the
Joel
process,
Embiid,
baby.
train
Mr.
rider.
Philly.
Trust the
Go.
process, and the process is complete.
I mean, but when you really
He
look
is
at
an
it,
MVP
Joel
candidate,
Embiid
though.
is top 5. He's averaging 21. He's averaging
21,
21 points a game
29.
almost.
He averaging almost 30.
21
plus.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
averaging like 29 and like
30.
what,
All right,
12 balls or some shit?
Let's call it. No,
Yeah,
excuse me. He
he's
played like
averaging
21
great
games.
numbers.
29
He's
and
averaging
11.
like what, 32, right?
29 and 11, I'm gonna
32,
say.
29, 30
11.
around there. All right,
Yeah, 29
he's
and
averaging
11.
29. You got Giannis at 28. You got Luka at 27. You got Nikola Jokic at 26. And under Embiid, you have the comeback kid at 29 as well at KD. And then right under
25.
KD is 23 with LeBron.
LeBron at
How y'all
25.
feel? He had
Damn.
23.9.
Only 24, Bron. You got to get that up,
Yeah,
Bronny.
yeah, 23.9.
I feel like Bron gonna get that.
So if
Yeah,
Bron
it's
didn't get it
crazy,
last year,
honestly.
Bron's had it too
But
many
if he
years. So
goes
he's
to
not getting it this
28,
year.
he's gonna get it.
So
But if
they
not, they're gonna give it to
blackman-
probably maybe Embiid. If they could manage to get that East record #1, Embiid gonna get it. That's what I think.
Yeah,
You gotta
You
get
got
the
it,
number
yeah.
one.
I think MVP is gonna it's gonna be between KD and Joel Embiid.
I don't think KD's gonna get it,
I
bro.
think so. I think
Their
it's gonna be
records
between
might not
those
get
I
it,
say
bro.
KD because
their
he has a
record might not
strong
be better
team.
than the Sixers. Watching the first round come, they're gonna obliterate whoever they play in the first round. They're gonna probably sweep them, and then the
Yeah,
second
I
round they're
definitely
gonna
think-
probably kill those guys, and then the third round is gonna be hard. But they're probably gonna play the Sixers or somebody.
Kyrie's on a mission, but he's not putting up those
Playoff
numbers. He's
time
not putting
come,
up those
Kyrie
numbers.
will be ready.
Yeah, I said the same thing too when he played for the Celtics. So
Oh.
Did y'all hear
Yeah,
that
I
the
did see
Mavericks
that. I did
ended
see
the
that.
national anthem?
Yeah, man. Mark Cuban, he's really standing on the side of the
Yeah, he's
of the
proactive,
players
man.
and how they really
Gotta
feel.
applaud him for that.
He's very proactive
Definitely.
as a owner in the
Gotta
league,
respect
and
him.
not a lot of guys are really doing that and
Yeah,
taking that
shouts out to
risk.
Mark Cuban, man.
So
Go
you know,
Saint, go
I want to
Saint to
see
Mark Cuban, man.
I want to see
Go
how
Saint to
far
Mark
this one
Cuban. Shout
goes.
out from Go Saint. Cause Mark Cuban, you a real one, man. For real.
I want to see how far this goes.
Mark Cuban was the first one to feed his players filet mignon and all of that. Like before Mark Cuban was a owner, the players used to go out and have to get
That's
food on their
crazy.
own.
That's what I love about him. He's really
after
like
games.
he's
But
he's
he
that
changed
guy,
the
man.
game.
He's definitely that guy.
Like where he got the good food for them on a plane. He started doing the private planes for the players. The players used to have to do all of that on their
He
own
realized what
until
it
Mark Cuban
is.
started doing that as an owner, and then
He realized
everybody,
what it is, bro.
yeah,
He
now
said,
every
I
team
think
does
he
it.
really. I think another thing too.
yeah,
He invests in his guys. There's nobody else that would do for
nope.
Delonte West what he
Well,
did.
probably a couple, but yeah, I
You know what
doubt
I'm
it.
saying?
Right.
He really
Yeah.
stuck his neck out there, took him off the streets, like, yo, you going to rehab.
Nah, he's a good guy, man.
So
In my opinion, I'm a big fan of this VR movement, just because like it's one of those things where, you know, I feel like they said they was gonna give it to us. They started to give it to us, and I want to take full advantage of it. Sure, I'm actually learning how to put Call of Duty on my system right now. So this way,
Call of Duty is tough, man.
hey, Call of
That's
Duty,
what I be
that's
on
what I've been
now,
on
man. For
crazy,
real.
Call of Duty, man.
DJ, we done, me and you
That's where
done
it's
been in
at,
the
to be
war
honest.
zone, Modern Warfare war zone
Exactly.
on that game.
That's where
it
it's
gets that
at.
excitement.
Yeah,
So definitely.
it's
I can't deal with
bro,
all
it's
that
the
killing, man.
adrenaline rush,
Even
bro.
if it's for 5 minutes, it's literally like 10-minute matches.
Bro, and the thing about it is, let me tell you, like running with Saint on Warzone, let me tell you the difference between that and a whole bunch of other video games. Strategy, that adrenaline rush. Like you gotta think about your
You gotta
every
watch
move.
your back at all times.
You really gotta real deal think about every move. All times, bro. It's not even short-term strategy, it's long-term strategy. If you want to be that last man standing, you gotta think 10
And
steps
on
ahead
that
of
aspect,
everybody
then
else
I got
every
another
single
question
time,
for you.
bro.
Then have you guys ever played in a large group of Haitians, or you know, people that speak a whole nother language? So like now you're on the outs.
I have
Bro,
actually.
no, that's
I
crazy.
played with
Now that
people
you
with a
say
different
that,
language.
no, I've never played Call of Duty
Oh,
with
Haitians?
any Haitians.
Like random Haitians?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro,
Damn, not really.
never. Most of the time, I'm just playing with a bunch of like
Or
kids
like
from
the
like
South.
the UK
Yeah,
or
the
some like
South I get a lot.
Southern
It's because of like, I
kids.
guess where we're
You know what
placed,
I mean?
like region wise. Like probably if we was in LA, we'd probably get like people in New York, or like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I play with a lot of New Yorkers too, and I'm also part of this clan called the Rebels. Shout out to Rebels, man, all day. You know, we're a large group, and you know, we just run games all the time.
See,
We
so
just get better and better and better.
I respect
like
it, man.
it's lovely that like
So
as well as you guys know each other and can jump on and match up. That's another way that, you know, you can bring more inclusiveness, you know, to your own language and spread it out a lot more. Because like the reason why I pointed out is I'm teaching my son how to speak Creole. So when we put Fortnite, me and him is just, you know, we running duos playing, you know, speaking Creole, and we the only ones speaking Creole. Everybody else is dropping Spanish, and you know, you get, you know, a couple of Japanese and or Chinese here and there, but only one speaking Creole, me and him back and forth, and he loves it. So I'm like, damn, I wish I did this with the other cousins. So
that's dope. That's fire. And another thing too, my clan name is Rebel Zo Kid. People always ask me, yo, what does that mean? Like Zo. And my language, I'm like, yo, I'm Haitian. I always tell people when I meet me, I'm Haitian. Like, oh, what's Zo mean? Like Zo's basically, it's like Zo Pound. You know, the tough guys of, you know, Florida, and I just got my name from that. So I just call myself Rebel Zo Kid.
Yeah, can you imagine a bunch of Haitians
On Call of
yelling
Duty,
at you?
Lord have mercy. That's a long day, man. That's a long game.
Get. Laisse-moi pomme.
Boy, foot.
No.
How about your poem? How about your poem?
Muy. Garo
Nigga get sniper. I can't get smacked, bro.
I should just
Oh, man, that would be funny.
I'm sorry.
And you know, Mr. Devil was talking about. He was talking about how VR was taken to the next level. Imagine
bro,
VR
what?
with Harlem City, bro.
Yo,
don't give that to no real soldiers, man.
I would say one thing. The only negative about VR and Call of Duty, why
you
I don't
breaking
think
the
it's a good
crib,
idea,
bro.
a lot of people's TVs will
You
be
breaking
breaking.
the crib for sure.
A lot of things will be breaking at the
Because a
crib.
nigga gonna be hiding in the corner. You're gonna walk in the room. You're gonna be in the corner, start spraying. You're gonna jump.
That's why we gotta get brother. We gotta get brother
That shit help your
Kijani in
reflexes a
that
lot,
Call of
'cause
Duty.
You're gonna get scared, but you're gonna start to react
That
quick.
Call of Duty. That
I'm not down with all that killing.
I mean, it's virtual. It's not like a real life human being. No, man. All this talk is making me crazy hungry, man.
Yeah, I be throwing it down.
Come on, Sam. You
it
cook
started
in the kitchen.
I be putting out a mean breakfast. Oh yeah, now the broccoli spaghetti definitely going down. Nice tomato paste. A mean cinnamon toast crunched with a milk. Crushed up perfectly. Nah, I definitely don't do that. That's some real Caribbean-ish right there. I'm not even gonna lie. Every time my mom do that, I'm like, yo, that's some island stuff. Because every island,
with the iron salt and the eggs.
No, warming up the milk.
Warming up the milk. Now, I actually have an espresso machine, so I warm up my milk.
Yeah, I'm quick manger. I don't play that crap.
Nah, but for real, who got fait manger?
Man,
Mr. DeVille, what you be cooking?
I'm perfecting
man?
my grill because I'm trying to graduate the tasso by the summertime. Probably avec. Me fait grill pam.
Grill,
I can't do that.
Yeah, right.
Nah, my question is, every Haitian that makes grill, yo, Mr. DeVille, do you put pikliz on
everything?
Your bun and pizza as well. Wow. See, I can't do the pikliz with the bun and pizza only on the grill.
Don't even try to. I don't even want to waste the recipe on y'all right now.
Pikliz could go on everything, bro. You wild.
But if you really want me to go in with it, it's a legit bag of coleslaw. Depending on what veggies you go. I mean, I love heavy carrots. I'm not a big fan of the corn and the peas. I like the coleslaw mix. And I go with the habaneros, man, like the solid habaneros. And I sit there, I let them sit and soak in vinegar. Got my salt or whatever other seasoning I like. I change it up a little bit because I'm doing my medicinal cooking. My kids can't handle the Scotch bonnet yet.
My question to you, Mr. DeVille, what is the liquid that they put in there? That's water?
Yeah.
You put a little bit of water just to try to offset as much vinegar it is.
No, but you put some water in.
But what ends up happening is the vinegar pulls the heat and everything like that from the Scotch bonnet, and it literally soaks up everything else.
Cause you know us, man, Haitian men, we can't go. I can't go a day without rice in my system. It's hard. Yo, coupe do I do when you making your food, bro? Because you look like you don't know how to cook with all that. All that craziness. Cut your finger, dog.
Coupe duet. That means it's so good.
Definitely clever. We definitely clever.
You might bite your finger. That's how good it is. Coupe duet. Lo oblige dueto.
All right. So I got a question for you you guys.
So many.
What is the top Haitian dish? All right. So
for me, I'm a little bit different now. So what I do now is that I take all the Haitian recipes that my mom used to make and I remix it now into the vegan version.
Got you.
Like sometimes in the bouillon.
But you gonna tell me that fools you up though?
Like sometimes I make bouillon with no
Prophet
meat.
Kijani.
And it's just vegetable.
But yo, since we're having a real debate, I need that old school Prophet Kijani top 3.
All right.
Yeah.
when our grandma was still alive, top 3 dish.
Okay, boom. Number 1, it gotta be Dili ak John.
Wait, no way. With the black rice with the green peas.
That might have to be my number 1 too. I don't know.
Listen, I don't care what y'all say. Dili ak John is my favorite. Right. Then I have to have on the side some banan peze. Mboze banan peze, mboze banan vet, mboze banan metu. I want both. But si mak manje banan, si banan peze furi. I can see cell. But yeah, Dili ak John.
You just killed it. That's the one I was saying.
Un poisson bien frit, snapper. GoSaint, You know when I'm thinking about
Bro,
this,
you
I'm
know,
thinking about your mom.
that's why I said I was like, damn, you said what I was gonna say,
man.
bro, because
But I
that is the one, bro. Like I was thinking, which one is it? But that's the one. Black rice with the orange sauce and the fried fish.
Yo, the number
with
one
the
Haitian
seasoning
dish
inside the fish. It's been sitting in seasoning its whole raw life inside the sink,
on the side,
just relaxing in flavor.
Yep.
Yo, listen.
I'm go finish.
Go ahead. Let him finish. Let him finish. Now, then I'm gonna hit
and
you.
The
with
last
that
thing,
was weak for a last
salad
one, bro. You could have went so
fini.
many other places with that.
You gotta have that salad, man. Même si m'pa manger salade là c'est pour salade là sous côté.
But all right. So you guys was in agreement. You guys was in agreement at the top. Your top dish was the Jonjo. But let me tell you my top dish, and let me tell y'all why. My top dish, why I chose this dish, is this dish converted different type of cultures into the Haitianness, into the Haitian culture. It changed flavor, it changed taste buds.
Yo, you better not say my
And
money
and this dish, when made correctly, loud. When your mom makes you a Z blanc, sauce poivre noir, avec un légume on you, bro.
I'm not gonna lie.
On the side, when she put the bun and fouille, with the bun and fouille, bun and pizza fouille on the side, I'm telling you, you changed up the game with that dish.
Bro.
And sometimes when you throw in the crab, it's a game. The crab is the game over. The crab is when Ray Allen hit the three from the corner.
From the corner and from Curry range.
I get the Spurs.
Yo, but tell me now, there's nothing more crazier than when you see a D blunt made to perfection and that sauce noir just gets dripping all over that D blunt.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that's game over, man. Mouth watering, you just happy, man. Your day's made.
You guys know how my mom throw that.
Mr. David
on the summertime. You guys know when you guys come mad late at night and there's mad food prepared. Mommy got that white rice. Mommy has that brown rice. Mommy has the fish and the grill and macaroni got the apton pool just sitting in the oven. Doesn't matter if it was 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, if it was 5 of y'all or 2 of y'all.
Mais c'est ça que Bouchou Google ça.
Yo.
She got the brown rice.
Hey yo. And another thing that Tatika makes, that's how I'll be over your mom's crib more than you. You forgot about the main dish your mom makes is the pink salad.
Your mom's favorite, and you left out the pink salad, mom. And she don't make it for me. She only make it for y'all. You see that shit?
Yo, that's why I say the Haitian dish evolutionized, because the parents used to make that one meal, and nowadays they add the macaroni, the pink salad. I mean, a lot of cultures don't even know what salad is about. That's for another podcast for another day. Know what it is. We can't give y'all all that in one podcast. Yo, pink salad be changing up the game when you drop that on the dish next to the
word.
You
I'm
know
about to just open up a bag of chips, man. I'm about to
I appreciate you guys having me, man. GoSaint in the building. You know, definitely appreciate the love. My music is out. I'm happy you guys even have the song on the intro. That's a blessing. That's love. It sounds amazing, bro. Y'all sound amazing. We gonna go up.
Where do I start? Come on. Where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start?
Yeah, because Haiti has a big history with mulattoes and darker skinned people.
Yeah.
We have the whole, during the Haitian Revolution, it was literally whites versus mulattoes versus blacks.
Exactly.
It was a whole group going against each other, and the mulattoes were literally stuck in the middle. Some of them were claiming that they were white and they would go with the Black Revolutionary group, while others who wanted to continue to live in a more lavish life, they would go over to the white side. And sometimes it will switch, going back and forth. So I think it's something that stems from that history that still lingers in all of us today.
Where do I start? Come on. Where do I start? Where do
GoSaint.